Hello and welcome to the CCSL technical session. My name is Mike Booker and I am a SolidWorks application engineer working for CCSL. Today we're going to give you an overview of the enhancements with regarding user interface within SolidWorks 2015. Within my SolidWorks package I have this gearbox. You can see simply by hitting Control Spacebar I can access the new View Selector. The new View Selector gives me access to all of my standard views in a nice graphical interface. I simply hover over the plane that I want to preview and SolidWorks brings up a nice preview in the top right hand corner for me. You can see that I can even preview the view even if my view plane is obscured. I simply select my chosen view by selecting the left mouse click. Hidden components can now be previewed directly from the feature tree. Simply by selecting your hidden components from your feature tree provides you with a preview within your graphical interface of your hidden components. What you can do is you can now show these components in your usual manner. Isolating components has been improved within SolidWorks 2015. You can now isolate components whilst editing them. And what you can do within SolidWorks 2015 is you can now isolate based upon a common mate between additional components. So if I isolate based upon this coincident mate, you can see that SolidWorks automatically isolates these two cast components for me. And what I can do from this new menu that is presented to me is I can save as a display state. So if I save this as a casting display state, you can see that I can access this display state in my usual way. What I can do from here is access my display state properties and I can invoke the new Hide New Components When Inactive menu. What this does is I can choose to apply this menu to all display states, specific display states, or just this single display state. And what this does is the SolidWorks software will automatically hide all of the new components that are added into my assembly to preserve my display state properties. Another great enhancement within SolidWorks 2015 is I can now open my part and position directly from my assembly. So in order to show this, I'm going to go back to my original display state, access my feature tree, then I'm going to orientate using my new View Selector into the view that I wish. What I can do from here is I can right click on any of my components and open in position. So you can see this is a great enhancement within 2015 that is a great time saver as well. What I can do from here is I can go into my individual folders and access individual features. And you can see that within SolidWorks 2015 I've got a great new graphical reference viewer which shows me parent and child references for each of my features. The selection process within SolidWorks 2015 has been enhanced in several ways. The new menu is available for my right mouse click button, and I've got all of my selection filters available to me. What I can do is I can now filter to vertices, filter to edges, filter to faces, and all of the other available filters within SolidWorks are available to me. So if I simply filter to faces, I can now select some geometry. Very commonly, within your workflow, you might accidentally delete your selection. What we can do now within SolidWorks 2015 is simply go back to our previous selection. And now that we've got our chosen geometry selected, what we can do is we can save this as a selection. And you'll notice that within your selection sets, you've now got an array of different features which have been previously selected that you can use within modeling or in simulation. Hard to select small surfaces or small vertices would require you to zoom in within previous versions of SolidWorks. But you can see, simply by my small repeated mouse movements, SolidWorks changes the selection filter from large surfaces to small. And you can see that it's much easier for me to select small edges or small vertices or small faces within SolidWorks 2015. What I can do within SolidWorks 2015 is I can now fully customize my fade-in toolbars. So simply by selecting a face, SolidWorks brings in my fade-in toolbar. This is now fully customizable within 2015. What I can do is I can customize this graphics area fade-in toolbar with any of the features or buttons that I like. So for example, if I want to add in my hole wizard, I can easily do that. So drag and drop my hole wizard into my graphics area toolbar and select OK. You can see that it's now easy for me to drop in a standard hole into my model. Within SolidWorks 2015, the toolbox has been enhanced in several ways. So if we simply access our toolbox and navigate to the toolbox item that we want to customize, what we can do within SolidWorks 2015 is right-click and we can configure each of our toolbox items. So if we wait for our toolbox to load, what we can do is we can configure each of the toolbox items individually. We can now customize individual and custom configuration names for each of our toolbox items. What we can also do is we can now specify how we want our toolbox item to appear within our feature manager and also in our bill of materials. So what we can do is we can now navigate back to our assembly and import the changes from our part. What we can do is, now we've configured our toolbox item, is we can simply drag and drop the item into our assembly. Select OK for the configuration and drag and drop in all the selections. And you can see within the 2015 interface, I can now specify that my toolbox item displays configuration name and file name within my feature manager. And also, if I invoke a bill of materials into my assembly, you'll notice that my bill of materials displays configuration name within my bill of materials. So you can see within SolidWorks 2015, the user interface has been enhanced in several ways to improve your everyday productivity.